You know that one person who's confident? They act like they invented common sense. That's the energy this stitch brings. The Peacock Stitch struts in, shows off with 13 double trebles, and acts like it just solved world peace with yarn. We all know a peacock like that. What's the most extra stitch you've ever attempted? The one that had your hook working overtime, but left you feeling like a crochet rock star? Share it below. I'm always looking for a new stitch drama. Hey crochet friends, I'm Mo, your crochet companion, and today we're giving our stitches feathers, flair, and just the right amount of overconfidence. This stitch builds beautiful wave-like fans using 13 double treble crochets per repeat. It's all about height and drama. Think of it as the crochet version of flipping your hair in slow motion. I can just picture that too. Stick around because row 3 is where this stitch starts showing off like it just got a fresh blocking and a spotlight. First, let's talk about our tools of the trade. So the yarn that I would recommend using is something that is a solid color. I mean, yeah, you probably could use like an ombre, but I wouldn't go too spicy with your colors because you want this stitch to be the center of the attention. And then of course your hook, I actually am using a size G hook. And then the chain, we're actually working in a chain of a multiple of 14 plus 1 more for turning chain. All right, so I have already started by crocheting 28 chains plus 1 for your turning chain. Then we're going to crochet 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. All right, second chain from the hook, 1 single crochet. Then we skip 6 chains. So we're going to skip 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. I know how to count, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the 7th chain, we're going to double treble 13 double trebles. Okay, so if you can't remember what a double treble is, how I remember is that a double is a yarn over 1, a treble is a yarn over 2, and then a double treble is a yarn over of 3. Then we're going to crochet 13 double trebles in that same stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, uh-oh, I got some yarn burf. Would you look at that? Isn't that fun? I got the yarn burf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4, 5. Now this is where it starts getting complicated because we're going to have to shove all 13 in there. Because that peacock, you know, he's got to have some big feathers. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'll start seeing that it's going to start getting more and more complicated as you add more. You might have to start taking your time and see, I've already lost my count, so I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, and this will be 10. 11. If you'll notice, I'm actually hanging on to that one stitch right there, so I can kind of keep it a little bit more even. And I think that's 12. So we got one more. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep, there's 13. Okay, I'm still fighting the yarn barf over here on my side. Oops, I don't think I did that right. Alright, so that's 13. Alright, so we're going to look at this, because this first one, it kind of shrunk up during our process. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to count 6, skip 6, and then we're going to single crochet into the next chain. Alright, then we're going to skip another 6, and I'm going to fight with this yarn barf again. We're going to skip another 6 and do another 13 double trebles in the next stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th chain. So you'll notice that when I am wrapping over, a lot of times, especially that first one, I'm holding onto those, all of those strands onto my hook. And you don't want to go too loose, but you don't want to go too tight, because if you go too loose, you're going to have an even ginormous stitch. But you don't want to go too tight either, because then it will be not tall enough. So this is going to be one of those things that time will help you master this stitch. And I forgot to count, so there's that. 2, 4, okay. There's 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll notice that I'm kind of spreading them out a little bit as I go, and you can kind of shove them to the right a little bit so that you can make room for more. There's 9. 10, 11, 12. All right, we're gonna spread them out and then squish them over. That makes a lot of sense, right? Spread them out and then squish them over. And there's 13. Okay, so once you get the 13th stitch in, we're gonna just wiggle them around a little bit, get them to lay a little bit flatter. Then we're going to skip those 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, technically, that one that squished up is your first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to single crochet in that last one. So you know that you didn't get your count right if you end up with a weird ending. So you have to end on a single crochet, and you do need to have those 6 and then you crochet into that 7th chain. So that's your first row. Once you get that first row done, man, that it's all uphill from there. So as you can see, so each one requires 14, and then you have the 1 chain plus 1, and then you have your what we would consider your turning chain in your in that first row. So this row is just you and your yarn making drama, one swoop at a time, as you can see. So the second row, we're making a hammock that holds up each fan so they don't flop under the pressure of being fabulous. Alright, so what we're going to do is, and this is up to you whether you want to turn and then chain 4, but either way you do have to chain at least 4 and turn the other way. Now your first chain 4 is going to be considered a double treble all in itself. You're going to do a double treble in that same single crochet. Then we're going to chain 5, and then we're going to count 7. So remember, this is not part of the 13, so we're going to count this from here over. So we're going to count to the 7th double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to single crochet in that 7th double treble. And we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip all those double trebles, and we're going to do 2 double trebles in this single crochet right here. So there's 1, and 2. Going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to count 7 double crochets from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Single crochet at the top of that one. Chain 4, or excuse me, chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do 2 double trebles in that last single crochet. Alright, this is where the fan starts stacking like stitch royalty. It's giving layered cake but make it yarn. So now we're going to go into the 3rd row, and the 3rd row we're going to chain 1, or you're going to turn, whichever you prefer. You can turn then chain 1, as long as you do a turn and a chain 1 somewhere, somehow, some way. Okay, now we're not going to do it in the stitch in the traditional sense. We're going to go between these 2 double trebles. Okay, so we're going to do 1 single crochet between those double trebles. Okay, so then we go back to that fan stitch. We're going to do 13 double trebles in this single crochet. So we're going to skip all those 5 chains and go into this single crochet. So we're going to do 13 double trebles in that again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I actually will hang on to that right there because I like that better than stretching it out to Kingdom Come. So that one is 6, 7, 8, I'm fighting my yarn again. 11, 12, and 13. Alright, so now that we've got the 13, I kind of try to spread those out a little bit. Then we skip the chain 5 and we do 1 single crochet in the next, in between the next double trebles. We're going to repeat that one more time, so we're going to skip those chain 5, do 13 double trebles in that single crochet. Now, one other tip that I can give you is that if you are struggling with this double treble and doing it like I'm doing it, I would recommend when you're holding the yarn, you can always do it like this. So sometimes this is what I did when I first started. I would grab it by the base and then keep going. So you see how I did that? So I inserted my hook, brought it up, and I grabbed it by the base there, and then I kept going up as I was crocheting. And then after a while, you will get used to, you know, the chain of 3 and then the all the loops that you gotta endure. It gets easier with time. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All right, so you do one more single crochet. You're gonna skip those chain of 5 and do a single crochet in between those last 2 double trebles. Okay, so one of the things that I do after I have crocheted my entire project, I actually will steam this, and that's how I got this to lay significantly more flat, is that I just took a steam iron to it so that it would lay like it's supposed to lay. Now you do need to end up, so you're going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 until your project is tall enough to block a breeze or make your neighbors jealous. Just kidding. But you do need to repeat those rows 2 and 3 until you have the height that you want. And you always want to land on the 3rd row. No, the 2nd row, sorry. So you want to land on this one. I'm going to do it real quick here so that you know exactly which row you're going to land on. So this is the one that you want to land on. So this is the 2 double trebles. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet in that 7th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 double trebles. One and 2. Chain of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip the 7, so in the 7th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 double trebles, And that should be the last one that you do. Now, obviously, you're going to make a project that's significantly bigger than this, but you always want to land on that second row. Now, as far as project ideas, you can use it for statement scarves like wig wraps or shawls, boho wall hangings, curtain balances that say, yes, I crochet and no, you can't touch it. And then I actually think it would be really wonderful for an afghan. I really do think this would be a centerpiece of an afghan if you use this stitch. It would definitely strut its stuff just like a peacock does. Now, what it probably is not good for is dishcloths or socks, unless you're into textured toes. I don't know, maybe you're into textured toes. So if so, and you don't mind having a toe hang out here or there, then why not, right? That's completely up to you. So if this stitch gave you life, or at least a challenge, tap the like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. I may not know what stitch I'm doing next yet, but I promise it will be fabulous and maybe just a little unhinged. Until next time, fluff those feathers proudly and happy crocheting.